14 years after a fungus wiped out most animal life, famine and civil wars followed. Now, with little food and no real order left, farmland is the most valuable thing people fight for. One day, a group of armed men broke into a fenced farmhouse after spotting healthy crops inside. One of the men begged for help, but it turned out to be a trick. As one of them stepped into the house, someone silently stabbed him from behind. Another man followed and met the same end. Outside, the rest of the group only heard faint noises. Then a sniper shot rang out, dropping them where they stood. Chaos broke out instantly. Some of the attackers tried to escape into the cornfield. A woman named Haley chased one down, cut him with a sword, then grabbed his rifle and killed him and his partner. Only one intruder was left. A boy named Emmanuel took his chance, fought him and stabbed him with his own knife. But when Emmanuel pulled off the mask, he froze. He had killed a woman. The family gathered around Emmanuel, curious to see what had happened. Cookie bragged about landing a headshot earlier, but Haley scolded her not to waste bullets since they were hard to come by. As they celebrated, the stabbed woman coughed blood. The girls teased Emmanuel for not hitting the heart again. Sarge handed out jobs and told Emmanuel to finish the kill. Hesitant, Emmanuel finally pulled the trigger when Haley called out, expecting it done. Over lunch, the girls whispered until the younger one cursed, earning push-ups. Haley asked Rain about her book report, but Rain admitted she had been reading something else. The report was due Monday. Emmanuel complained that perimeter duty took too long. Haley told him that rest only comes after death and gave him a new assignment, a drop-off to Augusta the next day. Rain asked when her turn would come, but Haley said she had to earn it by following orders. Before letting them go, Haley reminded Emmanuel of one rule. No talking to outsiders. Outsiders will kill you even for your boots. Emmanuel answered, "Yes, ma'am." The next morning, Emmanuel woke up early to box and exercise. The family worked the crops together. Later, he checked the perimeter as part of their routine. Haley trained them in shooting, farming, and survival. She also used the radio to stay in touch with nearby farmers. That day, she talked with Augusta. Augusta asked for help, saying raids were happening more often and the Union Army wasn't helping. She wanted Haley to come train the local farmers, but Haley refused. She said it was too dangerous to expose herself. Emmanuel later woke from a dream about a child watching a hurt horse. After his routine, he went to make the drop-off at Augusta's place. At an abandoned factory, he traded spices for supplies and then headed back home. Meanwhile, Haley listened to radio updates. Augusta reported something shocking. Jim and his entire family had been eaten by cannibals. Haley was stunned. Out in the forest, Sarge found a crashed ATV and scavenged rare spices. Back home, he proudly showed what he found. He gave Rain a new gun, making her smile. Cookie asked what she got, and Sarge joked that she got hard labor instead. After the girls went inside, Haley told Sarge what Augusta had said. He was surprised, saying people had forgotten what animals even were. Haley admitted she was worried about Emmanuel, but Sarge said the boy could handle himself. On his way back, Emmanuel stopped to swim. While drying off, he noticed a girl in the water and was struck by her beauty. Curious, he followed her and discovered she lived in a crowded shelter full of kids. That night, the family celebrated Danis being declared old enough to become their soldier. She pledged to protect them and then lit the rot pile on fire while the girls danced. From a distance, Sarge and Haley watched. Haley talked about her childhood before everything collapsed. It felt good to remember. Later, Emmanuel returned home. Sarge, annoyed, asked where he'd been. Emmanuel said he went to Augusta's, but Sarge pointed out that had been hours ago. Emmanuel claimed he lost track of time. When he asked why they burned rot instead of asking others for help, Haley snapped. She told him to be grateful, warning that the outside world was dangerous and they didn't need more people. She called the girls inside and told Emmanuel to put out the fire. Emmanuel later dreamed about a pastor introducing Haley as his mother. Shaken, He went through his routine, then snuck out to the lake. After swimming, he drew a sketch of the girl from memory. Back home, he couldn't stop thinking about her. As he started to touch himself, Haley suddenly walked in. He scrambled awkwardly. She ignored it and told him he'd joined Sarge and Dennis on a depot run. Emmanuel objected, saying it was a father-daughter trip. Haley shut him down, reminding him of their ancestors who fought for the land and saying his duty was to support his family. She warned him to fix his behavior, then left. Emmanuel muttered, "I do better." The next morning, Emmanuel left with Sarge and Dennis to scout the depot. At home, Haley told the girls how she had met Sarge in the military. When Rain asked if girls her age lived outside, Haley didn't answer. "Ain't nobody else out there like us," she said. "Most folks would be surprised at what we built here." At the site, Dennis spotted blood and followed it to find bodies hanging from the ceiling. Sarge and Emmanuel saw them too. Soon, 4 armed men arrived, claiming they were Union soldiers helping farmers. They said they had been staying with the Flemings, the recently dead. Sarge and the kids opened fire, killing them all. Later, Augusta revealed the Flemings had been killed weeks earlier. Emmanuel asked to search the bodies, and Sarge allowed it. As Dennis checked a bag, a woman pretending to be dead suddenly got up and shot her in the abdomen. Sarge and Emmanuel rushed her back to the farm. Everyone scrambled as Haley operated on her, and Dennis survived. Emmanuel blamed himself since it was his idea to search the bodies. Rain comforted him, reminding him he always protected Dennis like a big brother. Haley tried to reach Augusta on the radio, but got no response. That night, Emmanuel smoked near the fence when he heard something. Gun in hand, he went to check and found the girl from the lake, bruised and begging for help. "Don't move, I'll shoot you," he warned. Sarge and Haley gathered the kids and warned them to stay armed, avoid outsiders, and shoot first. They explained that cannibals were posing as Union soldiers to lure victims. Haley said, killing those men left a trail, and more would come looking. "What matters now is how we react," she said. Sarge handed out tasks. Before they moved, Haley pulled Emmanuel aside, told him not to blame himself, and reminded him that protecting his family came first. She told him to stay sharp and be ready to lead. He stepped up. After breakfast, Emmanuel checked on the injured girl, Dawn, in the barn. She panicked at first, but he calmed her and treated her wound. Meanwhile, Haley noticed movement at the perimeter. Cookie didn't respond on the radio, and Rain hadn't seen her either. Growing tense, Haley called Emmanuel and told him to head south. Later, during dinner, Rain mentioned her book report. Cookie spit out her food, which caused tension with Haley. Then Rain brought up something Dennis had told her. A body found at the depot had been kept upright, as if preserved. Emmanuel laughed, but Haley snapped at him. Feeling dismissed, Rain stormed away from the table. "You got the nerve to sit there making jokes," Haley scolded. After leaving the table, Haley sat beside her sleeping daughter Dennis and whispered to her, telling her how much she was needed and loved, and how important she was to their lives. Elsewhere, Emmanuel pressed Dawn for answers. Who was she? Where had she come from? Did she have family? She pushed back, asking why he was keeping her locked up. "I need answers," Emmanuel insisted. "It's important." When she asked to use the radio, he hesitated. Frustrated, she explained she just wanted to know if her people were alive. Realizing her desperation, Emmanuel apologized, untied her, and told her about the time strangers had hurt his family. That was why he struggled to trust. "If you let me use the radio to reach them, you'll never see me again," she promised. She also apologized. Then she said something that shocked him. She needed to contact the Freemans, specifically her aunt, Augusta Taylor. Emmanuel was stunned and started to trust her more. Haley, meanwhile, anxiously waited for a call from Augusta, but heard nothing. During this time, Emmanuel and Dawn grew closer. He shared his love for swimming, and she admitted she had once followed him and had been visiting the same river ever since. These moments made them bond. The next morning, Haley couldn't find Emmanuel. She went to the barn and discovered him and Dawn listening to music and laughing together. Emmanuel clearly liked her. Haley and Sarge entered. Emmanuel froze. When Dawn turned around, Haley's frustration boiled over. She struck Dawn. Sarge pulled Dawn outside while Haley scolded Emmanuel harshly and locked him in the barn. Outside, Haley demanded the truth from Dawn. Pressured, Dawn finally revealed her name, her past, and how she had followed the river to find the farm. Haley still didn't believe her and fired a warning shot. Shaken, Dawn admitted her Aunt Augusta had sent her. Haley remembered her past with Augusta. Years earlier, her car had broken down and Augusta had helped her. While fixing it, Augusta praised Haley's father, but Haley pushed back, saying she was only looking out for her son and didn't share her father's beliefs. She admitted she didn't believe in God. Augusta urged her not to judge faith by people's failures, but Haley stayed distant. Later, Augusta drove Haley back to the farm, only for Haley to find her family slaughtered. Amid the chaos, she found her father dying. He pointed to the barn, where Haley discovered young Emmanuel holding a gun. She took it from him, hugged him, and told him he wasn't alone. Now, in the present, Emmanuel tried to reach Augusta on the radio, hoping to tell her they might have found her niece. The signal connected, but Augusta didn't respond. By the time Haley arrived, the signal had already dropped. She dismissed it, but Rain backed Emmanuel up, saying she had seen it too. Emmanuel begged Haley to check on Augusta, but she refused, insisting Augusta could take care of herself. Frustrated, Emmanuel said her distrust was suffocating them, that he couldn't even talk to a girl without her interfering. Haley, furious, tried to hit him. He shoved her away and stormed off, screaming in anger. He grabbed Dawn and left on his ATV. Haley, worried now, went after them while Sarge stayed to guard the others. Emmanuel and Dawn arrived at what used to be her family's home, but the place was eerily abandoned. Meanwhile, Sarge noticed the farm cameras failing one by one and went to check the fence. Haley reached Augusta's house during her search. There, she discovered barrels filled with human remains. Rage consumed her. At the same time, Emmanuel and Dawn entered the shelter. Dawn confessed everything. It was a setup. Her family was being held hostage, and she had been forced to lure Emmanuel into a trap. This was how the captors worked. They made families distrust each other, then attacked and took over farms one by one. "They made me go to your farm," she admitted. Back at Augusta's house, someone struck Haley from behind, knocking her unconscious. At the farm, Sarge was also ambushed and captured. Rain and Cookie watched the cameras go dark, terrified. Rain grabbed her sniper and told Cookie to stay put while she went upstairs to fight. Sarge regained consciousness, with his hands nailed to the ground. Using raw strength, he ripped one hand free, then killed his captors with their own nail. Haley woke up in a basement, where Augusta was also tied up. Rain, meanwhile, killed several attackers before being pinned down. Haley told Augusta about Dawn. Augusta confirmed they had sent her and feared Haley would kill her. Haley said Emmanuel had kept her safe. Augusta was relieved and mentioned hidden kids, but before she could explain further, a man entered. He mocked Haley, saying she never cared about anyone. Furious, she spat in his face. He ordered his men to tie her legs. Then, without hesitation, they slaughtered the other prisoners, including Augusta. At the shelter, Dawn introduced Emmanuel to her friends and apologized for lying, saying she feared he wouldn't come if he knew the truth. Emmanuel said he was going to find Augusta. Dawn apologized again as he left. Back at the farm, intruders breached the house. Rain retreated to the basement. At Augusta's place, Haley broke free, killed her captors, and grabbed their weapons. At the farm, Sarge fought back, rescued Danis, and regrouped with Rain and Cookie. He ordered Rain to shut the shutters and kill the lights, trapping the cannibals inside. One by one, he wiped them out. Meanwhile, Haley and Emmanuel reunited at Augusta's house. They agreed to leave together. On the way out, they ran into Dawn. She asked about her aunt. Haley told her Augusta was dead. Dawn cried. Emmanuel insisted they couldn't leave the kids behind. Haley agreed, and they brought them along. Back at the farm, Sarge carried Danis downstairs and handed her to Rain before collapsing. Emmanuel showed Haley a broken entry point in the fence. Haley said they'd deal with it later. Inside, two cannibals poured gasoline, planning to burn the house. Sarge told Rain to let them in. Haley and the kids faced more attackers outside. She told Emmanuel and the others to stay back, then charged into the fight. Inside, the cannibals threatened Danis with a sword, but the kids fought back. Danis stabbed one, and Rain finished him. Sarge shot another. Emmanuel returned to help Haley, who was already stabbed and struggling. She fought off two attackers but was too weak against the third. As the man raised his sword, Emmanuel arrived and shot him. He held Haley in his arms as she asked about the others. Emmanuel reassured her they were safe. She passed out, and he cried. Haley and Sarge survived their injuries. Life slowly returned to normal. The rescued kids were welcomed into the family. Around the dinner table, they all sat together, one big, united family. At last, there was peace.